Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I hope you'll be fine. Think the syllabus mathematics book 2. Today we are going to do question number 8 and onwards of exercise 7b. We have completed question number 7. So if you haven't watched the video related to till question number 7, you can go for it and you can watch the video. Now we will do question number 8, in which we have to do the same that we have done in question number 7. So starting from the question, it says, given that the mass m grams of a sphere is directly proportional to the cube of its radius r centimeters, copy and complete the table. Let us first understand what is given in the question. It says, given that the mass in grams of a sphere is directly proportional to the cube of its radius r. So we can say that it is m directly proportional to r cube, where we can rewrite it presenting in form of constant, that is m is equals to k r cube. This is what it means, that m is directly proportional to the cube of r radius. You see, cube of r means r cube. Now we have to complete this table. So first we have to find out the value of k. How can we find the value of k? This would be the equation that we have to replace with the value of k. So for this, we have to find out the value of k. How are we going to find it out? M upon r cube is equals to k, where the value of m and r cube we can take from where the values of both r and m are given, which is 1.5 and 6.75. So we are going to substitute the value of m with 6.75 and that of r with 1.5. Then we will take its cube, 1.5 cube. For this, we have to multiply 1.5 into 1.5 into 1.5. Which will be 3.375. So we can write it down it as 6.75 upon 3.375. Now we have to divide 6.75 with 3.375. So the answer would be 2. Value of k would be 2. This is the constant that we have to substitute the value in the equation. Okay, so the equation would turn out to be m is equals to 2r cube. This is the equation that we have to use for every variable given out there. Okay, so in the first part, we are provided with the value of r. We have to find out the value of m. We are going to substitute the value of r, which is 0.2. So what are we going to do? First, we are going to find out the cube of 0.2, which will be 0.2 into 0.2 into 0.2, 0.008. Then we will multiply it by 2. So the answer would be 0.016. It's nothing. It's the same as we have done question number 7. Only the difference is we are provided with the values in decimals. Now, again, in part 3, we are not doing part 2 first. We are going to do part 3 first, where we are again provided with the value of r. So taking this equation, m is equals to 2r cube, we will substitute the value of r with 0.7. Take its cube. Acha. In this question, instead of using calculators, you can do it mentally. Like the cube of 7 is 7 sevens are 49, 49 sevens are 343. So the cube of 0.7 would be 0.343. That's it. Okay. So after finding the cube of 7, you can just divide it by 1000 to make it this cube of 0.7. Next, what we have to do, we have to multiply it with 2. So it becomes 0.686. Now, we have to use this formula to find out the value of R, and we are provided with the values of M. So how to find it? Let's see. Now the value of M is given as 0.25. So we are going to substitute the value of M. We will write the rest as it is, and then we will solve it. We have already discussed it earlier. Then when a number is getting uh, multiplied and having a power at the same time. So if we are solving it, so first we will solve the power and then we will multiply it with the answer. But if we have to find the value of R only, then what we are going to do, first we will remove the number, the coefficient to the other hand side, and then we will take the cube root on both sides. So 0.25 divided by 2 is equals to 0.125. And since we know 125 is the cube of 5, so taking their cube roots, we will get 0.5. Why? Because if the cube of 5 is 125, the cube of 0.5 would be 0.125. Okay? So we can write R is equals to 0.5. And then the value of M is given as 11.664. 11.664 is equals to 2R cube. First, what we will do, we will take 2 and divide it with 11.664. The answer would be 5.832. Then we have to take its cube root, which would be 5. So the value of R would be 1.8 simple. Okay. Then you'll take the cube root of 1.8. The answer to this would be 1.8. You see, we have used the same formula to find out the values of M and R. In the next question, it says during a certain period in the life of an earthworm, its length, L centimeters, is directly proportional to the square root of N. So first, let us write down the equation. Length, L, is directly proportional to the square root of N. Square root of N is this. So the equation would be L is equals to K under root N. Okay. Where N is the number of hours after its birth, right? So they're saying that the more the number of hours, the more its length would be. That is, as it will grow, its uh, length will also increase. The length of an earthworm 1 hour after its birth is 2.5 centimeters. So they are providing us with that N is equals to 1 and its length is equals to 2.5 centimeters. So first we have to find out the equation connecting L and N. For this, we have to find out the value of K. So it would be L upon under root N is equals to K. Then we will substitute their values. So it becomes L is, achha, this is the equation that we have to use later on. That is, we are going to substitute the value of K in. So L is equals to 2.5. Under root N would be 1. And the square root of 1 is 1. And its square is also 1. So we are left with 2.5 is equals to K. So this is the constant that we are going to use. And we are going to substitute in the equation number 1. So it becomes L is equals to 2.5 under root N. This would be the answer to part 1. This is the equation that is connecting L and N. Find the length of an earthworm 4 hours after its birth. 4 hours is N. So we are going to use this equation. L is equals to 2.5 under root 4. Okay. So under root of 4 is 2. So it becomes 2.5 multiplied by 2, which is 5. So the length would be 5 centimeters after 4 hours of its birth if it was 2.5 centimeters on its birth. Then they are saying how long will it take? That is, now we have to calculate the time. Okay. How many hours will it take for an earthworm to grow? It means we have to calculate N now if its length is 15 centimeters. Now its length is given, L is given as 15 and we have to find out N. So using this equation, L is equal to 2.5 under root N. Now what do we have to substitute? Since the value of L is given as 15, so we will substitute it with 15. 15 is equal to 2.5 under root N. Next, what we have to do, we have to remove 2.5 from here and it becomes 15 upon 2.5. So when we will divide 15 with 2.5, the answer to this would be 6. But this is the value of under root N. So what we have to do next, we will take, since this is a square root, so we will find the square. The square of 6 is equals to the square of under root N. This square will cut the under root and we are left with N is equals to the square of 6, which is 36 hours. It means after 36 hours of its birth, it will be 15 centimeters. 36 hours means after 1.5 days because there are 24 hours in a day. Next, we have question number 10, which says if y is directly proportional to x square. Let us write it down over here. Y is directly proportional to x square. So y is equals to kx square. Okay. For all positive values of y and the difference in the values of y when x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 3 is 32. Find the value of y when x is equals to -2. Now, this question seems to be tricky. What are they saying? They're saying that the difference in the values of y when x is equals to 1 and when x is equals to 3 is 32. They're not telling us the values of y for any corresponding value of x, neither for 1, neither for 3. And they're saying that their constant would be, is not provided, but their difference is 32. So in this case, what do we have to do? Okay, so let us read the question once again and try to understand what is happening over here. It says, if y is directly proportional to x square for all positive values of y, that is, the values of y would be positive, it won't be negative, then it would be proportional to x square. And the difference in the values of y when x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 3 is 32. So in this case, what we can do, students, we can suppose Suppose y is equals to y1 when x is equals to 1 and y is equals to y2 when x is equals to 3. So the equation becomes y2 minus y1 is equals to 32. That is what they are saying. So basically, we have to substitute the value of y2 and y1 because they are saying the difference in the values of y when x is equals to 1 and x is equals to 3. That is the value of y when x is equals to 1 and the value of y when x is equals to 3. When we will subtract these two values of y, we will get 32. This is what it means. When the value of x is 1 and when the value of x is 3, when we will subtract these two values of y, we will get the difference as 32. So in this case, we have to first figure out that what would be y2 and what would be y1. Now, moving towards the equation, y is equals to kx squared, we should remember that k is constant. It is the same value. Therefore, we can say that y2 is equals to kx squared and y1 is equals to kx squared. But in y1, what do we have to take? If y1 is y is equals to y1 when x is equals to 1. So what are we going to do? We will substitute the value of x as 1 over here because we have taken y1 over here. Okay. And we have taken that y is equals to y1 when x is equals to 1. So we have to take these two corresponding values together. y1 is equals to k1 square and for y2 it would be k3 square. Okay, so y2 becomes k into 9 and y1 becomes k into 1, that is k. So y2 is equals to 9k and y1 is equals to only k. These are the two values that we are going to substitute in equation number 1 to find out the values of k. So y2 is equals to 9k, y1 is equals to k is equals to 32. So 9k minus k is equals to 8k is equals to 32. K is equals to 32 upon 8. 8 ones are 8, 8 fours are 32. And here you go, we have found the value of k, which is, now we can check it, we can verify that. Have we got the correct answer or not? What was the question? The question was, let us read the question once again. It says, if y is directly proportional to x square for all positive values of y. So let us take y is equals to kx square, where k is equals to 4. So this is the equation that we have to use. Then they are providing us the value of x is equals to 1. So we will substitute the value of x as 1 here. And when the value of x is 3, so it would be y is equals to 4 bracket 3 square. Okay. When we will subtract, when we will solve them, we will get 1 square is to 1, 4 ones are 4, y is equals to 4. And y is equal to 3 threes are 9. And 4 nines are 36. You see, if the value of x is 3, the value of y is 36 when the constant k is 4. And if the value of x is 1, the value of y is 4 if the constant is 4. And when we will subtract them, the difference in the values of y is 36 minus 4, which is 32. Hence proof the values that we have got are absolutely correct. So what we did, let me repeat, that first we supposed that when the value of x is equals to 1, the value of y would be y2 and y1. And when the value of x is 3, the value of y would be y2. And after that, we used the equation which was y is equals to kx square. From here, we substituted the values in these equations as y2 is equals to kx square, y1 is equals to kx square. For y2, we took x as 3. For y1, we took x as 1. And after that, when we solved, we got y2 is equals to 9k and y1 is equals to k. Because we got both in terms of k and we know the values of k are same. Therefore, we made these equations, and after that, we substituted their values into this equation. And when we solved them, we got the value of k. Now, what's next? They're saying find the value of y when x is equals to -2. Again, we have to use this equation, which is y is equals to 4x squared. This part is for verification. This has nothing to do with the solution, students. So y is equals to 4x squared, where the value of x is given as -2. So we will take the square of -2, and the square of a negative number is always positive. So it becomes 4 into 4, which is 16. So y is equals to 16 if x is equals to -2. For these type of questions, students, you have to practice these questions twice or thrice or even more to get grip over these type of questions, because they seems tricky at first, but when you practice them, so it becomes easier for you to memorize the steps. What is being happening over here? And why did we do that? I repeat that since the values of y were missing and we cannot find the value of k until and unless one of the two values are given. Like for the values of x and y, both we can find the value of k. Until and unless the corresponding value of y and x are given, we cannot find the values of k. But in this case, we can see that the two values of x are given and the difference of y are given for their corresponding values. So what we did, we suppose that y2 is equals to x square, where x is equals to 3, and y1 is equals to kx square, where x is equals to 1. And after substituting the values, we got 9k and k, which we used and substituted back into the equation to find out the values of k. So this is how we have to solve these type of questions. Inshallah, in the next video, we are going to do few more questions. Until then, take care. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe to my channel and share the video with your friends. Take care. Allah Hafiz.